Myself and Rabbit have been coming to France for more than 20 years, and in that time we've experienced lots of different fisheries, from large commercials to inland oceans and everything in between: weedy lakes, gravel pits, crayfish, poisson chat and so much more. An opportunity arose for us to put together some packages that we could bring anglers out to France and impart on them the knowledge we've gained over the years, in a tutorial style, but also with a good friendly social involved as well. Everyone can get involved, learn little bits and pieces that will help their angling, or indeed learn to cast even further than they can already, learn to use boats, and just generally improve their angling. When booking on one of our trips, you can expect a fantastic level of service. We include a chef that's on site with us the whole time, cooking 2 meals for you each day, a breakfast and an evening meal. We also do daily tutorials as a group, which are fun and engaging and full of great information. And you can join in with those or choose not to, it's entirely up to you. We also do one-to-ones throughout the week where myself and Rue and Mark, the casting expert, will make our way around the anglers and help with anything you need. If it's your first time in Europe fishing, we can help arrange the crossings for you and give you information on driving safely in France, how to get to the lakes, where you can stay locally the night before if you want to stay locally, and lots more other really useful information with European travel. What kind of angler comes on our trips? Well, it can literally be for anyone, from a complete beginner to someone who's been fishing for decades but maybe have never come across to Europe and experienced some of the differences in the angling over here, or indeed just wanted to add that little 1% or 2% to their current angling. These trips are all about you as an angler and what we might be able to do to help you improve your fishing. So if there's something that you'd like us to particularly look at with you on a one-to-one basis, let us know during the trip or even before, and we can make sure we give you plenty of time to help you with those questions.
So each day there's a specialised topic, so you can choose to come to that, or if you do not fancy it and you think that's not really for me, or I don't really need to work on that, by all means, you can stay, carry on fishing in your swim. So you really can, with this week, make it bespoke to yourself however you want to do it. So do you need experience travelling and fishing Europe? Well, we have put a package together for anyone who's a little bit daunted or scared of travelling out to Europe if you haven't done it before. We will organise all your travelling to the point of you can even convoy out with us. It's that simple. So as soon as you're booked onto one of our tutorials, you'll be added into our WhatsApp group, and we will organise everything you need to make sure you feel content and safe with the journey.
Well, we're about halfway through the week, and what an amazing start it's been. One of the guys that's booked on has had a £57 PB literally from the off. Everybody wound their rods in and headed down to the swim to enjoy the moment with him. Brad came along and took some absolutely stellar pictures for him, along with a bit of video as well. What a fantastic start that was to the week. From there, it was straight into the tutorials. And we started out with location, a really important subject in fishing, and we covered all the different angles, from spot finding to just checking out the weather and how it can affect your fishing. We then moved on to boat work and started right from the beginning by first of all looking at the difference between hard boats and inflatable boats, and then what equipment you'd need to use in a boat on either a French commercial fishery or in fact any fishery really across Europe. The most important part of boat use is safety. And we went through that in detail with everyone to ensure they knew how to use a boat safely and effectively. Some of these guys had never been in a boat before, so it was really important to lay firm foundations for their boat use. From there, we went on to the more technical side of using boats, from finding spots to putting the rods out effectively. As well as the tutorial side of things, there's been plenty of time to enjoy social and of course great food and enjoy the pleasure of being in France for a week. The next day's tutorials was all about casting, and we've got long distance tournament caster Mark Armstrong with us for the entire week, set up in a long range swim. All the anglers went down to see Mark, taking with them one of their rods and a lead and a rig ready to go, and Mark walked them through the steps to help improve their not only distance but also their accuracy, giving them confidence to cast a little bit further but more importantly more accurately. And amazingly, everybody that got involved in that were exceeding their expectations at least by 10 to 15 wraps. A fantastic effort from everyone, and everyone was absolutely buzzing to get back to their swims and chuck some more leads around.
Hi, I'm Mark Armstrong. I'm a long distance caster and part of Team Free Spirit. I have been long range casting for 6 years now. It's taken me a long time to get where I am now. I've represented England on 2 years on the trot. We come second last year in the overall competition against 5 other countries. In my tuitions we cover everything from knots, technique, equipment, all bases to make you fish safe and accurate at range. The average distance increased is from 40 to 50 yards with the main goal of accuracy.
So before I booked on, I was hoping to improve a bit around boat work. The casting piece excited me as well because I'm used to fishing small waters, so I got a lot from that. And I think just general knowledge from Steve and Rue in terms of watercraft as well, been phenomenal in terms of their skills and knowledge, and took quite a bit away from that as well over the last kind of week. Best part of this week for me so far, 2 elements of that. So one was the naturals piece. I've done a lot of winter fishing. I've used natural winter and actually understanding how to clean them, prep them, the rigs to use as well at that point, and actually spending time with Mark as well, looking at my casting again, as I mentioned. Casting I've not done loads of, normally from a bait boat, but I spent 2 hours a day with Mark and I'm hitting 32.5 wraps at accuracy as well. So definitely something I will continue to move after this session.
The tutorials have been, I think, excellent. I've picked up on everyone something which I'll keep forever, which is really good. And obviously catching a fish is a bonus, so great.
So for me, the best part for me is hitting 40 wraps. My average was about 28, 30 wraps. So hitting 40 wraps with Mark, getting the 1-to-1 improvement on casting range and the accuracy. Yeah, it's been great. I think watercraft as well has been a lot of improvement over the last few days. Going out in the boat with Rue as well and learning about different things on the lake bed. The whole experience really from start to finish for me. I don't get away that much. I have 3 kids, so to get away and have a bit of me time with the rods, with people, yeah, it's great. It's what life's about.
It's been a really hectic start to the day. Last night the temperature went up a couple of degrees. We could really feel it in the bivvies, and this morning's resulted in a flurry of activity. Been a number of fish out, mainly at one end of the lake, but they are moving now along that bank. Wes and Andy in pegs 10 and 11 have had a good number of fish, including a personal best for Wes at 42.5 pounds. His friend Andy also got in on the action with a couple of fish, including a 40 for himself. And whilst that fish was on the mat, we ran through the essential things to know about fish care and safety.
So today's tutorial was all about naturals. I taught them all about how to present, prepare, but the one what really got them was how to keep them clean on the bank and also clean them throughout the session. It's a very important part. If you speak to a lot of match anglers, they would never put some of the maggots I've seen go into the water. So it was a big eye-opener to them on what you could do with naturals. And yesterday's talk was all about rig mechanics with Steve, talking about self-resetting rigs, how to get the best out of different substrates and bottoms with rig presentation. So the guys took a lot away from these sessions. And what was really nice to see is a couple of the anglers went back to their bivvies, tied up the rigs they'd been taught, and one of them had a new PB.
Well, Big Fish Thursday has certainly lived up to its name here at Lepinet. It started early with a little flurry of fish for Andy and Wes. Sam took it upon himself to take on board the knowledge he gained this week and move across to the corner of the lake where no one had been fishing for a few days and the fish had started to show. He dropped in there and very stealthily deposited 3 baits out of his bait boat, which resulted in 6 fish into Friday, including a new £50 PB. Andy and Wes have remained consistent through Big Fish Thursday into Friday, adding yet more fish to their growing tally of mega results from this lake. And just after lunchtime today, Dan's waded in again with another big unit at £44 to go alongside his PB from the beginning of the week at 57. With one more night still to go and the weather looking absolutely bang on, it's all still to play for. All the lads have taken on board lots of knowledge this week and they're really putting into practice now.
The parts I've learned from this tutorial that I'm going to be using when I get back home are definitely boat work. Looking into a couple of memberships near me that allow boats and stuff. Location, always going to have location on my mind going forward, as well as incorporating certain rigs and certain edges that I've been taught, especially in winter as well, with what Rue's taught us with naturals.
I wasn't expecting a fish as big as the fish I got. My PB was 42, so if I'd have had an upper 40, I'd have been ecstatic, but to have a 57 on my first fish was crazy.
We've come to the end of the week and it's been an amazing week for everyone. Lots of challenges, particularly the weather, but I think overall everyone's had a great week.
Oh, absolutely, Steve. We've done casting, boats, rig mechanics, baits, you name it, the guys have had it.
Absolutely. And not to mention multiple PBs. I think that has been, I've lost count, three PBs?
3 PBs.
Up to £57.
And with that being said, if you would like to get on one of our tutorials, head over to Carp Tuition Socials on Instagram, Facebook, or onto our website.
Booking couldn't be simpler. Head to the website, choose the trip you want to come on, fill in the form, and payments can be spread over 4 easy payments. If you haven't travelled to Europe before, give us a shout and we'll help you organise all your channel crossings and any requirements you might have.